Microsoft just acquired Activision Blizzard for the rumored price of $70 billion. Yeah, the very same company that owns IPs like Call of Duty, Warcraft, Candy Crush, Tony Hawk, Diablo, Overwatch, Spyro, Hearthstone, Guitar Hero, Crash Bandicoot, StarCraft, and much, much more. Frankly speaking, I'm quite in shock making this video. Never in a million years did I think Activision Blizzard would sell out to any company. I considered them quite untouchable like Electronic Arts. You see, Activision Blizzard isn't struggling to make money. In fact, their franchises are making yearly profit hand over fist. Call of Duty Vanguard last year is probably one of the worst performing Call of Duties to date, and yet it still broke records as the most sold game of 2021. Just to put this into comparison, when Bethesda GameWorks sold, while it was a big deal, it wasn't too shocking to the industry simply because while they do have iconic games and IP, some of their recent games haven't sold all too well. It's the very same reason why Sony was able to secure some timed exclusive titles like Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. So how exactly is this deal playing out? We know that they're interested in being acquired and Activision Blizzard seems to be interested in selling. So what exactly are the repercussions and when does this take place? According to everything that's been laid out so far, this wouldn't end up happening officially till 2023. And until then, Activision Blizzard will continue to run itself like it has been this whole time. And in terms of repercussions, can we expect Call of Duty, Overwatch, and others to be completely Xbox and PC exclusive now? I'd say it's more than likely that that will be the case, but until we get official confirmation, it's pretty important to not get too ahead of ourselves. After all, we did get confirmation that some Activision games will remain on PlayStation, but they will also keep some content exclusive to Xbox. If I had to take a guess, it's probably going to be very similar to what goes on with Bethesda today. Basically, titles that have long-term support and are already on PlayStation will continue to get support. For example, I suspect Warzone will remain multi-platform. It's already on PlayStation and it makes a boatload of money, but I can see a future where the mainline franchise is Xbox exclusive. But this is a cloud gaming channel, and I need to discuss about the future of gaming and what this means there too. Frankly speaking, I wouldn't expect any of these titles to show up on anything else other than xCloud. I still maintain that cloud gaming is the future of this industry, and at some point it will be the way that the majority of gamers play their games. There's a reason every major game company as well as tech company is looking into this space. And I gotta say, I think Microsoft is sending a real clear message with this purchase. If you want to compete with us, this is the price of entry you need to be willing to pay. Just to put this into perspective, let's talk about only Call of Duty here. Remember, this is one IP that they just bought out. Regardless of how you personally feel about Call of Duty, whether you think it's a good or a bad game, the fact is that it's the third most selling game franchise of all time. The only names above it are Mario and Tetris, and let's just think about that for a second. This is like them buying Mario, except it's even bigger than that because we're not taking into account all the other IP they just bought out. And the company that's certainly not getting enough attention here is King. If you haven't heard of them, they're the ones who developed Candy Crush, and they alone were already worth $5.9 billion when they were acquired in 2016 by Activision Blizzard, already double the price of that of what Microsoft paid for Bethesda. But what's that got to do with cloud gaming? Well, let's put it into perspective. Xbox has always stated that they wanted to reach 3 billion gamers worldwide. It's important to note that Activision has already started porting all their big IP to the mobile market. More so than that, it's important to recognize that mobile is the largest segment in the gaming industry. King develops a lot of games that appeal to the casual mobile market, and Xbox game streaming will be able to deliver the HD hardcore games that people would want to play on the go. The idea of reaching 3 billion gamers worldwide is much more realistic now. So what's this mean for new players in the gaming industry? And I'm talking about companies like Nvidia, Google, and Amazon. I hate to admit it, but I do see this being a colossal blow. Regardless to whether or not these games ever saw the light of day on the platforms and services created by these tech giants, they are by far some of the most requested games. The idea of World of Warcraft on cloud? Big deal. The idea of Call of Duty on cloud? Big deal. The idea of not only the most sold franchises, but the most played franchises is a massive deal. I really don't see Microsoft wanting to share the cloud gaming space. I know out there are people arguing that Microsoft just wants you to subscribe to Game Pass, and I think that's true for the rest of the industry. I can see it happening to the console market. I do see a potential future where Xbox Game Pass is on PlayStation, but I struggle to think of a reason why they would want to share the cloud gaming space in the very same way. They simply don't need to. Let's not forget that Game Pass Ultimate includes Xbox game streaming. When I talk about it happening with PlayStation, I see it because there's a huge install base there that's willing to buy it. But that install base doesn't really exist for Stadia, Luna, or GeForce Now. I mean, if it were to appear on one of them, I would assume it'd be GeForce Now over the rest, simply because GeForce Now is more of a service than a platform of its own. They use other storefronts and aren't directly selling anything themselves, but I still struggle to see why Microsoft wouldn't want to fully envelop that user base all for themselves. It's always argued that Netflix and Disney Plus can coexist, but to me this seems more like Netflix content being on Disney Plus instead, which doesn't really make sense. Either way, let me know your predictions and thoughts on all this down below. Do you think we stand a chance of seeing Game Pass show up on Stadia, Amazon Luna, or GeForce Now? I'd love to see it happen, and I would love to play some Forza Horizon on my 3080 tier, but to get back on track here, this is a massive buyout, and I don't think it's going to be the last to come. The value in owning gaming IPs right now is massive. Not just for gaming, but the potential impact of making future content in other entertainment sectors such as movies and TV shows. And we're seeing a lot of that already. Uncharted, Ghost of Tsushima, both getting movies, The Last of Us getting a TV show, Halo getting a TV show, and much more. As for who ends up buying who, well, that's still all up in the air. Frankly, any of these tech giants could buy out a big major publisher like Electronic Arts or Ubisoft. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to invest that heavily entering an industry. And that's not even taking into account the fact that Sony could very well do a buyout themselves. More and more, the gaming industry is now heading in that direction, and I would say it's a smart move to start doing the same. Otherwise, you're going to be at the mercy of whether or not these other big name players are going to be willing to share their games with you. And to be very clear, I'm not a fan of this sort of thing for the overall health of the gaming industry. As a consumer, yeah, I'm hyped. I'm getting Call of Duty included in my Game Pass subscription. But this is $70 billion which could have been injected directly into funding new content, new talent, and new IPs from the gaming industry. And in this scenario, I do prefer Sony's approach of funding these new teams with potential to create new content, rather than Microsoft just outright buying existing content and making it exclusive. That said, this is all business and I can't fault them for doing so. At the end of the day, a lot of gamers are going to be real happy getting all these games included in their Game Pass subscription. And it goes without saying that this will have an impact on some users who are on the PlayStation side or using other cloud platforms and services as well. At the end of the day, I see myself keeping my PS5 simply because I love PlayStation exclusives. I already have a Series X and a gaming PC to take advantage of Game Pass. And at this point in time, I don't see myself switching from GeForce Now to Xbox Cloud Gaming simply because GFN's new 3080 tier really is that good. I really do hope Xbox continues to improve their cloud gaming offering though. Today's deal just cements the fact that they offer quite a catalog of games. Now all that's left is to bring that technology up to par. Where do you stand though? Do you see yourself switching? Will things continue as normal? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. As always, thank you for watching. This has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming and VR related, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.